Hey, it's Joshua Lennox, your CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer, and we are here live right now on the Inspiration Station. I hope that you all are coming on in and getting ready to kind of breathe and relax. And it's funny that I say breathe, and you'll see why in just a moment. But hope that your week has been amazing, and I hope today has been amazing so far because you still got some time in the day or whenever you're going to be watching this. Please continue to like, please continue to share and subscribe, you guys. Please continue to send this out. I cannot stress that. As I said, we are in the transition of stage, but at the same time, I'm moving forward just as you're moving forward in your lives. You cannot be halted, hindered, or stopped because sometimes in those moments of a pause, there might be some things you're learning, you're gaining wisdom with, or maybe there's some things that are about to shift that you're not even aware of yet, but you're having to just continue to move by faith. And that's what's happening here on the Inspiration Station. So continue to like, continue to share, continue to subscribe. If this is your first time here at the Inspiration Station, we're going to jump right in. The Inspiration Station is literally where we're not just inspirations to one another, but we're also inspirations to ourselves. Sometimes you need to be that cheerleader and encourager and pusher for yourself. This is also where we're open, we're honest, and we're vulnerable, not with just each other, but with ourselves, because often the greatest relationship that is neglected is the one we have with ourselves, and we don't neglect ourselves, right? Also, this is where people will be coming in to be interviewed at times, people that are well known, people you probably have never even heard of before. But as I say, everyone is a superstar, and that includes you. This is also a place where I want you to continue to always be mindful of how you are evolving, you're changing, you're transforming. And everything that we talk about is not just for you to hear and digest and as an appetite, the appetite you have to grow and be better, a better version of who you are, but it is to move you towards some level of movement, towards some level of action. Sometimes the action is getting this up here, your mind together, or getting your thoughts together, changing the way you think so that does cause you to move your feet in whatever area of your life. Okay, we're jumping right in, y'all. The title is I'm going for it. Y'all ready? Roll with me, lean with it, rock with it. I don't know if I want to say lean with it, rock with it no more, because if you know that rap song, and I found out exactly what that actually means, I was like, I'm blown away. Many years been just lean with it, rock with it, lean with it, rock with it. If you know what it means, you get what I'm saying. If you don't, just keep listening to it. Don't worry about it. But I want to start, go ahead and jump right in so you guys can get off to your evenings or whenever you're watching this. Again, please make sure that you share this, like, and you subscribe, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on LinkedIn or YouTube. So any of those, that's where we are as of right now. The other things have been put on hold, and that's okay because we're moving forward anyway. So the title of tonight or today or this morning, whenever you're watching it, is called Oxygen You've Been Missing. Oxygen that you've been missing. I want to know, have you ever really felt exhausted, even after getting enough sleep? Like you go to sleep all night and you wake up and you're like, I feel like I never even closed my eyes. Or you found yourself feeling emotionally numb, disconnected, or like you're just going through the motions, like you're just on autopilot every day. Or maybe you're not lacking motivation. Maybe you're missing oxygen. And I know some of y'all are like, well, how am I missing oxygen, Josh, and I can breathe in and out? But we're not talking about the oxygen that fills your lungs. We're talking about the things that breathe life back into your mind, body, and spirit, things that make you come alive, that maybe you have stepped away from. That's what I mean by oxygen. Well, of course, we breathe in oxygen. I'm breathing in oxygen right now. If not, I must be an alien or something or a robot, but I'm not. Just like you're breathing in and out oxygen right now. But what about the oxygen of things that bring life to you? First thing I want to ask you is, are you holding your breath? Are you holding your breath? Anybody love to swim? I do. I love to swim. It's been a little minute, but I've been swimming since I was a kid. And I think a reason why I'm able to hold long notes or sustain notes for a very long time when I sing is because I would hold my breath underwater for a tremendous amount of time. Sometimes it would scare people. They'd be like, hey, that's enough. Stop doing that. But I was kind of fascinated. I was like, I wasn't even tired. I didn't even feel like I was about to die or anything. I could hold my breath underwater. And I think that's why I can hold very long notes. Moving right along, many of us spend our lives holding our breath without realizing it. We hold our breath while waiting for the next opportunity, carrying many responsibilities, trying to keep everyone else happy, putting ourselves on the back burner, avoiding difficult conversations, and living under constant pressure. Because then, if we do all of these things, meaning that we're not breathing, we're just When we talk about holding our breath, it means that I'm literally just tight, I'm rigid. I feel like I have to, like we talk about even carrying responsibilities, you might carry so much on you, you're not doing anything else or focusing on anything else. If you're living under constant pressure, you're just always in survival mode. You're just always waiting for the next thing to try to take control over, try to take control of. So again, you eventually you begin surviving instead of living. You're not living. You're just going through the day to day, just hoping to get to the end and then start over again. So I want you to take away from that is thinking that you can survive for a while without taking a deep breath. But eventually your body and your life will ask for one. It'll ask for one of them. Either you're going to take a deep breath or you're going to keep holding it. And if you keep surviving, that means that you're not really paying attention to your absolute needs that you have, the needs you have, your values. Maybe you're not even allowing yourself to be focused on the things that you are desiring anymore, or the things that are most important, the bare necessities that you're missing out on because you're so worried about, I'm gonna list it again, you're waiting for the next opportunity. You are. So again, we talk about holding out, but remember how people say like, well, don't hold your breath, meaning in the sense of like, you don't do that because if you hold your breath, you're probably going to pass if you think something's going to happen or not. We're sitting around holding our breath in our life, that means I'm not looking at all areas of my life. I'm just holding on to waiting for the next opportunity. I'm carrying responsibilities. I'm trying to keep everyone else happy. So again, are you paying any attention to yourself? No, because you're neglecting you and what you need. You're avoiding difficult conversations. You're just suppressing and pushing all this stuff down. And this is another way to look at that. If I'm holding my breath, I'm suppressing. I'm suppressing some level of areas of my life that I'm not allowing any oxygen into. You're also living under constant pressure. So, again, you can survive for a while without taking a deep breath, but eventually your body and your life will ask for one. So, either you're going to keep on trying to survive or you're going to eventually just take a deep breath and exhale. Okay. Next thing I want to ask you is, are you breathing polluted air? Not every environment nourishes you. Not every environment is healthy for you. Not every environment is conducive for you. Not every environment is welcoming of you and what you possess, who you are, your talents, your gifts, your abilities, your skill set, your heart, your characteristics. Because sometimes that air around us is filled with chronic stress, negativity, chronic stress. Y'all know what chronic stress is, right? It means stress that's ongoing. So chronic stress, negativity, fear, comparison, toxic relationships, burnout, burnout, burnout. Also, constant bad news. So just because you've adapted to an environment doesn't mean it's healthy. I know one thing that I've always had a pet peeve of is being around people who are very negative. It can drive me up a wall. I'm not a person who has toxic optimism, but I'm a person who can see the good even in stuff that doesn't look so good. I don't always sit around talking about my issues, my problems, or things. Life is too precious, as my pastor always says. He said, "Don't say life is too short. Say life is too precious." Because if you say life is too short, you're telling yourself that your life is going to end very soon, or you cutting yourself off. But I loathe being in an environment where people are always talking about what's negative, what's sad, or people who gossip, talking down about people all the time, people who are fearful about everything. Everything is, oh no, I can't do that. But what if this? They're always looking at the bad, the worst case scenario. Those are environments that are toxic for me. Comparison, especially people are comparing themselves to other or comparing you to other people, trying to make you feel as if you are less than, that are very condescending. You can be in toxic environments, and sometimes that can be in your home. Maybe when you grew up, or the people you grew up around were very dramatic. They were always chaotic. You put someone who's been used to a chaotic environment where there might have been verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, or even physical abuse, or they're used to a lot of noise, a lot of issues all the time. And as I mentioned, like negativity, if that's been someone's their origin of placement in their life, you put them in a place of peace or a healthy environment, or put them in a clean air, I guess clean air. I'm trying to think between polluted air and clean air. They're not going to feel comfortable. They're not going to want to be around it. They're also going to look at ways of how they can pollute that air, bring in what they're used to. So Just because you've adapted to an environment doesn't mean it's healthy. You can be walking in your house, and I hope this is not for you all. I'm saying this is not you, but if you have trash that's been sitting in the house for so long, eventually you're not going to smell the stench anymore because now you've adapted to it. Now it's just like it's somebody else coming to your house and it's almost like, do you not smell that? That is disgusting. Like you need to take that trash. It's not like smell like somebody is deceased in your house. And it's like, what are you talking about? There's not a bad smell in my house because you've gotten used to it. So just because you're in certain environments for so long does not mean that it's healthy for you. So the question I have for you is what have you become so used to that you no longer realize it's draining you? Or I'm going to even say stifling you. Or I'm going to also say that's keeping you bound. Or I'm going to also say that's keeping you stuck. What are some environments that you can think of right now that you have become used to it? So you're so used to it that you no longer even realizing that it's taking away from you. All right. Next thing, y'all hanging with me? We almost done. I don't have that many points. I want you to get off to your Fridays and things of that nature and get off to your weekend. But also the next question I want to ask you is what gives you oxygen? Oxygen does look different for everyone. And remember, keep in mind oxygen meaning what brings you, makes you come alive, what brings life to you. So a lot of you all, let me say this, are people who give life to others. You bring so many things to other people, but also what are you giving back to yourself? Oxygen looks different for everyone, as I just mentioned. For one person, it could be creating. The next person, it could be mentoring, coaching, teaching. For someone else, it could be spending time in nature, dancing, writing, building, exercising, or even laughing with the people that they love. For me personally, one of the some of the things that I love that bring me life, some of the things we kind of mentioned already, but singing, dancing, things like that are life-giving. Going to play go bowling is life-giving. Skating, running, exercising, laughing. I love to laugh, and if anyone has known me for years or you've been around me for any time, when I laugh, it can be very hard. Like it's loud, strong, or either it's just bent over, not so loud, bent over, whatever. I love to laugh. But the things that I mentioned, there have been times when we talk about what brings us oxygen or what gives you oxygen, there have been moments in my life where I was so used to being in performance mode, literally performing like entertainment, singing, acting, or dancing, sometimes simultaneously. And not all in the same area. It could be, okay, I have a rehearsal over here, rehearsal over here, three different rehearsals for three different things. And while somebody could used to look at my schedule sometime and be like, "Oh my God, how do you do all this? You sing in this many choirs, you're also dancing, and then also you're performing and things, you're choreographing other people as well, and then you're in a stage play. Like, how are you doing all of this at the same time?" While it was very demanding of me, I loved every minute of it. Was I tired sometimes? Yes. Yes, I was. But at the same time, I loved it. So it really didn't feel like I was really working or anything like that because it brought me life and it was a way of expressing myself. It's a way of having creativity. Another thing is I love to cook. I haven't got down in the kitchen like I really want to in a little while, but you know what? That's gonna change. I just been kind of, you do like meal prep and you have your chicken and your vegetables and your fruit and stuff, your boiled eggs, and you have your things set because of fitness things that you're working on. That's kind of been where I am. So I haven't really got down in the kitchen like I usually do. Oh, but that's just, it's like therapeutic and it makes me feel so good. And it really makes me feel good when I'm cooking for others. I'm that person, usually hear about people who love to cook a lot. A lot of times you hear big mama or grandma or your mom or somebody who they love to cook, or it might even be a man, it might be dad or uncle, granddaddy, whatever. And they love to sit back and watch people enjoy their food. I'm one of those people. Now I'm not creepy. I'm not gonna be watching you like, okay, let me look at them bite. Oh, okay, they like you like it? Yeah, okay, great. I just like to see people enjoy that part, something that I created that they really like and enjoy. So, and I don't play about food because I love to eat. So if I'm cooking, it's got to be good. So my thing with you is, what is that for you, and what have you gotten away from? Those things that you just love to do, whether it's arts and crafts, whether it's sewing, whether it is singing, whether it's going mountain biking, whether it's traveling, whether it's going on certain tours in a city, it's tours about historic things. I don't know anything you want to do when you talk about tours, going to amusement parks, going to visit family, going to be with friends, going to your favorite restaurant. It could be anything you think about that brings a level of fresh air back into your lungs, into your life, and brings about so much joy to you, brings about a level of happiness, brings about a level of relaxation for you. So the key thought I want you to think about here is just to pay attention to what leaves you feeling more alive instead of depleted. Pay attention to what makes you feel more alive because you're alive in your life and you're living well. Do we all have challenges and stuff? Yes, but guess what? We overcome them, right? But what are some things that make you feel more alive than you already are versus depleted? Okay, so keep that in mind. Number 4, ways to receive more oxygen. I kind of started with that, but I'm going to go even further, do a little deeper with that. Ways to receive more oxygen, because sometimes receiving oxygen doesn't require changing your entire life. It starts with making room for what restores you. So sometimes you got to carve out things and be intentional. Just as much as you're intentional about going to your job, intentional about going to church every Sunday, intentional about making those phone calls, those emails, sending out those text messages, cleaning your house, because we all clean our houses, right? Okay, right. But washing those clothes, going to get your car washed, going to get your car maintenance, whatever it is, when we carve out these important things in our lives, paying bills, you got to be just as much intentional about doing practical things to bring yourself a level of oxygen or bringing more life to you. Okay. So here's some practical ways. I'm going to kind of go through this list and I want you to be thinking about things as I'm saying them and just think about maybe what you're already doing, but things you want to add. Okay. So first thing is taking intentional breaks instead of pushing through exhaustion. Sometimes we can just go, 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 go. And sometimes the mentality of the society is, oh, you got to grind it out. You lazy. You're procrastinating if you're not doing this and doing that. And it's like sometimes you might need to take a moment, take breaks in between certain things in your days or maybe in your weeks on the weekend, so that you're not becoming burnt out. And then also that burnout can cause you to almost stop wanting to even pursue after things you're passionate about because you're just always so tired and lethargic. Spending time outdoors to get fresh air, you got to get that vitamin D. And sometimes it's good. I love to go to the trails or go walking or running anywhere where there are people because sometimes even in that, usually most people, I'll say most people, when you see them out and about, they're more, you see people waving at you and smiling because we're all out there trying to, get our exercise, get our steps in, and this or that. And also, even I find sometimes when you go to the gym, sometimes some people I speak to everybody, but sometimes people are just looking like, I'm like, I understand you focused or whatever, but you look like you about to throw something. But anyway, maybe too much pre-workout, something like that. But anyway, moving your body through walking, dancing, or exercise. Move your body. Moving your body is also part of your emotional regulation. Sometimes our body needs to be stimulated to free ourselves from some of the things that you're holding. Like I talked about suppressing things, or maybe just certain things that you're feeling that don't feel that well. It's like I have to rid myself of this. We have chemicals and things in our body, dopamine, and things of that nature, endorphins, things that need to be activated so that we feel better about whatever's going on and we're not holding or, storing unnecessary emotions, feelings, thoughts, and things of that nature. So we're needing to move our body, whether that's through walking, dancing, exercise of any kind. Engaging in creative outlets like music, art, writing, or cooking. I just named some of them for myself, then I'm telling you, and cooking is making me want to get in the kitchen and tear something up. Anyway, also having meaningful conversations with people who energize you. You want to talk to people who feed you, and it should be reciprocated, but that feed you. When you talk to them, you feel better when you lead that conversation. I know sometimes talking to people in my life, it doesn't matter if we're even talking about things that we might be going through or challenges we have. It's not a burden. It's not heavy. We're very light about it in a sense. Even it could be some deep stuff, but we end up, it's not just talking about that. We could be laughing, encouraging each other, giving each other wisdom, praying for one another. When I lead the conversations, I feel so much lighter or better and thankful that I have those types of people in my life. And I want to make sure that I'm the same thing for them, and make sure that you're mindful of having those types of relationships in your life. If you don't have somebody you can call and without you feeling like, oh no, they're going to drain me, it's time to reevaluate and reassess the people that you're connected to in this season of your life. Next thing is practicing deep breathing or mindfulness to calm your nervous system. Sometimes you need to, and what we're talking about, oxygen, literally sitting still, being quiet sometimes, or putting on some level of, I don't know if you want to put on rain, you want to put on thunderstorms, you want to put on the wind, I don't know, put on some certain jazz music, or just sitting in the quiet and taking some deep breaths to yourself. We have this thing in therapy, a lot of times we call it the butterfly breathing, where you can put your hands up here, you take a few slow breaths in and slow breaths out until you feel a little bit more relaxed and less tense. Sometimes we just need to take a pause, take a break. That means don't sit there for hours, but just take a moment, take some time to yourself, collect yourself, be mindful of your surroundings, be mindful of how you're breathing, be mindful of who you are in that very moment and how you're feeling, because then it causes you to become more grounded. Okay, sometimes we get away, in the hustle and bustle and trying to take care of so many activities, take care of so many tasks and so many duties and responsibilities. You lose sense of even how centering yourself to see how you're really doing. So that's one thing. Also, laughing often. Please laugh. It's the best medicine. I love to laugh. I'm pretty sure anybody watching this, they love to laugh. You laugh. I love to laugh as well. But laughing feels so good because it's like, for me, it's like it breaks up everything. And plus, I love to laugh just generally. I laugh probably all day, even with my clients. No matter what I'm doing, I laugh to myself. I laugh at myself. But it just brings a level of joy and also release and also relief. To also setting boundaries with people or situations that constantly drain you. You do not have to give yourself access to everybody and anybody, especially people who drain you. If you're looking at their phone and saying, oh, no, no, here we go, don't answer it. Don't answer it. Send them a text. Or let them know you'll talk to them later, or talk to people when you feel as if you have the capacity to do so. You owe no obligation to always make yourself so readily available and accessible to any and everybody, especially the people who you know are draining to you. And also, if you still know you need to talk to certain people, give it a time limit. Give it a time limit. Also, reconnecting with activities you loved before life got so busy. You have forgotten about so many things that you just used to do at the drop of a hat. Whatever that is, reconnect to those things that bring you life, that bring you joy, that bring you peace, that bring you relaxation. And it also gets you into a place, I think when you do things like that, it causes you to go back to the responsibilities of your life, and you see things different because you're a little lighter. Okay. Also, you want to make space for quiet reflection or maybe even journaling. If you don't like to read, I said read. If you don't like to write journaling or something, maybe do a voice note or two to reflect on where you are in your life, maybe certain goals you're wanting to achieve, or also not even the goals you want to achieve, but just being present with your day to day, being present with your needs, being present with what you desire, being present with some things you want to improve and change, just making sure you're feeding that relationship what you have with yourself. With this, I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time I did something that made me feel fully alive? When was the last time I did something that made me fully alive? Now, I'm not talking about going to jump out of a plane, but if that's something that made you feel fully alive, go do it. Go do it. But putting yourself in a place so you get out of this routine in the smallest things, y'all. It could be where I'm gonna try a new way, I'm gonna drive a new way to work. I'm gonna go to a new trail that I've never been to before. I'm gonna go to a new store that I've never been to before. I'm gonna book a trip and stop always thinking about the money part of it or whatever. You need the money, but just making sure, let me stop putting myself on hold when I want to go do something. Go book a flight, whatever that is. Call up some friends and plan some things together. Whatever that is, y'all, I just want you to start letting the wheels turn. And this is what I mean about, we talk about certain things that'll get you to thinking and changing your thinking, which will cause you to make some forms of action. Last thing, y'all, and I'm letting you go. I'm kicking you out because I don't want to talk to you guys no more because you're taking up too much of my oxygen. Anyway, I know y'all got that. I told you I like to laugh, and it was funny, so you need to laugh too. Now, I'm gonna tell my mama she gonna call y'all. But anyway, we often choose vacations, promotions, or bigger opportunities because we think they'll fix our exhaustion. So you're trying to fill in something. And I say, oh yeah, if I go on a vacation, I'll be all right. Or sometimes you realize that what you're actually missing is much simpler than that. A deep breath, a healthy environment, a forgotten passion, a meaningful connection, and the courage to make time for what restores you. Sometimes those are the things we need to look at before you think about making some extravagant external move on something to bring about peace or bring about rest. Now, book your vacations and do all those things, but what if it can simply be a deep breath, being in a healthy environment, getting back to a forgotten passion, getting to a meaningful, feeding a meaningful connection or reconnecting. Also, having the courage to make time for what restores us. You make time for everything else. Sometimes you're forgetting to make time for you and the things that matter to you, and you've forgotten about it. So, what I want you to meditate on in your quiet time and reflection, y'all know we just talked about that, right? I want you to meditate on this, that life isn't just about staying busy enough to survive. It's about finding the people, places, and passions that help you breathe again. Sometimes the oxygen you've been missing has been waiting for you all along. You just haven't made room for it. So, this week, I want you to identify at least one thing that gives you oxygen and schedule time for it. Carve it out, no excuses. I mean, don't even hold yourself accountable. I'm holding you accountable, but hold yourself accountable. Carve out time for one thing that gives you oxygen and schedule it immediately. Protect it the same way you protect the next important thing in your life, the important meeting or the most important deadline, whatever that is, treat it the same way because the healthiest version of you is depending on it. The healthiest version of you is depending on it. So, ladies and gentlemen, and maybe even children or of that nature, I don't ever know. Sometimes I know sometimes teenagers watch, but oxygen that you've been missing. It's time for you to think about it. Not just the oxygen that we're breathing in and out of our lungs, but the oxygen that brings us more life, that causes us to feel more alive. Okay? So, and I'm not telling y'all to do stuff unhealthy because sometimes, oh, what make me feel alive is if I go buy me about 16 dresses. Okay, wait a minute, stop. healthy, healthy things. But just to be mindful of that, you gotta like to think about. But I look forward to seeing you guys next Friday here on the Inspiration Station. We're live with Joshua Lennox, your CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer, of course. Looking forward to that always. Remember, you've always been great and you're just getting better. Please spread love now, y'all, more than ever. As you see, this world is what it is, but at the same time, that doesn't have to mean that the certain things have to pollute you, as we talked about. Certain things have to pollute you and keep you from spreading love, keep you from being a light, keep you from being someone who is giving compassion, generosity. Continue to be who you are. We need more of that in the world. And don't let anything tarnish that or pollute your air. So I will see you guys 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next week. Also 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all know the rest of the stuff. I'm not going to go through all of them time zones right now, but I love you guys. You please know you've always been great. You're just getting better, and you have finally learned to embrace it fully. Talk to y'all later. Hey, go get you some oxygen and do it now. Schedule that one thing, at least one thing, because when you start doing that, you're going to start saying, hey, I missed this, or I have needed this. Some of you used to be very, very consistent with this, and you just gotten away because life has gotten busy and you've forgotten to carve out that time for yourself. So maybe some oxygen is go get a manicure and a pedicure. Maybe some oxygen is I'm going to one of my favorite restaurants this weekend. Whatever that is, I'm going to call my a close person who I haven't talked to in a minute, who I love. We laugh all the time. Or I'm going to schedule a lunch meeting with somebody. Whatever that is, do it. All right. I will talk to y'all soon. Love you much. Bye.